Good afternoon, good evening. Let's go ahead and call our meeting to order. This is the Kennedale City Council regular meeting, October 15th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. We are in City Council chambers at 405 Municipal Drive, Kennedale, Texas, 76060. Madam Secretary, could I get a roll call?
Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Michaels.
Here.
Place 1 Glover. Gary.
Here.
Place 5 Navarez.
Here.
Mr. Beer, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, we're going to have our invocation and pledges of allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags. Going to ask Councilman Navarez to lead us in our invocation and Mayor Pro Tem Michaels to lead us in our pledges. If you'll please stand with us. We just ask that you give us secure, Lord, or at least give us better ways to handle it. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you. At this time, we are going to move into our public comment section, and the Kennedale City Council welcomes comments from the public. Those wishing to speak must sign in prior to the start of the meeting, or you can sign in now. Speakers may speak on any topic, whether on the agenda upon, discuss issues raised, or make any decisions at this time. Speakers under citizens' comments shall observe a 3-minute time limit. Inquiries regarding matters not listed on this agenda may be future action by the board. Madam Secretary, do we have people wishing to speak?
We do. Ms. Sarah Johnson.
Okay, I'm representing the new senior outreach tonight. We have our Thanksgiving drive right now going on until November the 16th. We need pledges for turkeys and canned goods and other different items. I want to give a shout out to First Baptist of Mansfield this week and give us some generous donations. And so we really appreciate that. They looked on Nextdoor. I'm on Nextdoor. I have my own Facebook page and and then my page. I want to appreciate we've been doing this for 6 years and it's been very successful. It does at the last minute. And so I want to appreciate everybody who participates. And it's a community event. We've been doing this as citizens together for our seniors are the most vulnerable, and we just make sure they have a great Thanksgiving. At least have that, and they use that meal, and it saves them for a whole week or more. They live off of that. So, my number is 817-333-4178. Thank you.
Mr. Tyler Epstein.
My name is Tyler Epstein. I'm an attorney from Houston here on behalf of United Residential. I'm here to speak about, I believe it's agenda item C4. It's interesting. I'm here because, talking about oath of office, which we're going to swear in a fire chief here recently. Over this issue, uphold the law, follow the law. That also means holding each other accountable for others that are not. Under the law, on this vote, it's a ministerial duty to tally who is qualified and who is not qualified. It is a factual matter. If you live within the 200 feet of the PD, which was voted on, you must recuse yourself because Chapter 171 of the Local Government Code makes it a conflict of interest. You took an oath of office to uphold that. We're in the process right now of filing a lawsuit individually against Mr. Chris Gary for not performing its ministerial duties of tallying qualified votes, because now it's interfering with our vested rights in our property interest. It's not that hard to understand that we have this deal and it's easy to rectify because the law is clear. The city attorney knows the law is clear. He has even said there's a case law and it says qualified votes about a qualified vote, and there's no misunderstanding whether he abstained or did not recuse himself. That's his impropriety. There's no reason for the rest of the city council and the city itself to fall in and continue down that path. All you have to do is correctly tally the votes and certify and move forward. Otherwise,
Mr. Garrison Lewis.
Garrison Lewis, 1312 Tucker Lane. Just straight here. Good evening, council. Tonight, I'm speaking on behalf of all who have agreed that on September 17th, Councilman Kenneth Michaels violated the conflict of interest statute. He cast a vote on a matter that would have directly impacted his property value, creating a financial interest in the outcome. I presented the evidence to both Councilman Michaels and the city demonstrating how his property value was built. If the Enclave development had been approved, some of the new homes in that development would have been closer to his home than the Magnolia Hills home were. Therefore, reasonable to conclude that his property value would have increased again. Following trends of comparable home sales around his property during the peak period when Magnolia Hills homes were being sold, I chose to because certain exemptions such as homestead or senior citizen freezes can distort the true market value. After all, I'm sure I can speak for all to sell your property. You would prefer to sell it for the fair market value and not the random number that the TAD comes up with. As for the argument that Councilman Michaels is outside the 200-foot zone and therefore does not need to abstain or recuse himself, that is simply not true. There is nowhere that I can find in the city charter or state code that states that a person must live within a certain distance to have a conflict of interest. The only mention of the 200-foot rule that I can find relates to the option for property owners. Even if there is something in there about the 200 feet, it's still clear that he has a vested interest in a yes vote to raise his property value, that he could sell his home for more money and would have made money on that if he had done it, if it had gone through. In light of these facts, it is clear that Councilman Michaels had a personal financial interest in the outcome of this vote, which should have required him to abstain. The integrity of our local government depends on our representatives acting in the best interest of the community, free to address this violation and take the appropriate actions to ensure that conflicts of interest do not influence decisions that affect the future of our city. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Joe Palmer.
Joe Palmer, I have to admit, I don't know what all strategy is at play here, but I know there's a couple of different sides at least. Listening to all this, it reminds me of what happened in the city not too long ago when Jan Joplin, Rocky Gillian, Sandra Lee got elected to city council. About 5 minutes after that, there was an effort launched by their opposition, the establishment, as we can call them, for the things that the establishment was responsible for. And so about 10 minutes after they were the petition to recall them came about, Jan Joplin filed to run for mayor against Brian Johnson. And then the establishment said, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We didn't think to defend their king, to defend Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson won that race by 20 votes, 18 votes, something like that, but it showed the city that that mayor at the time was not loved. And that started the cascade. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, all the king's horses, all the king's men. And as you know, the city manager was fired, the city planner retired in disgrace, Brian Johnson retired in disgrace. So my point in reminding you of that is that you don't know in politics what the other side's going to do. And when you don't know, that is cause for hesitancy. So this is a dangerous thing. I'm saying dangerous politically. When I listen to the attorney come up here and threaten you with a lawsuit and depositions, it's just more fear. And I know you didn't get elected to come up here and get bullied around. You do the best you can. Somebody's not going to make as much money as they were going to make. I'm so sorry. This is a big... Frank Herbert once wrote, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn on. There will be nothing. Only I will remain. I don't know what you're going to do. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But if you vote to remove Councilman Gary, it's going to be more of a problem than it is now. And Councilman Michaels. It also reminds bullying that came from the law firms, the threat to lawsuit against Jan Joplin that intimidated her and made her not representing your community when you allow yourself to be manipulated, when you allow yourself to be a malleable human being. Thank you.
Ms. Tamika Sargent.
Tamiko, sir. Mr. Kenna, let you guys know, whatever you guys are thinking about doing, you better think hard, because this council members are doing some awful things undercover. You guys must stop. These two gentlemen here, excellent. He's doing, I can say, a great job. You guys, on the other hand, I don't know nothing about you, Brian. All I know is all this bullying that you guys are doing, Mr. Palmer has said enough. You guys have done a lot of firing, hiring. This whole council is made up of individuals I know nothing about. If I was to walk in here, I would think this was a KKK meeting. Because at this point in time, you guys better stop them. They better get it right. Because from this day forward, I promise you, I'm watching and I'm going to contact some people. Of course, you already know, Daryl, outside people. I think some things need to be brought in here to need to make some things be changed. I thank you two gentlemen here. I thank you, Kenneth. You keep doing your job. Hey, just tell them, I wasn't aware of. Just tell them, just do like everybody else. Because everyone sitting on this council know they have done wrong. You guys better clean this mess up. I mean, you better clean this mess up and stop treating people the way you think it should be done and follow the rules. Because at this point, all this mess is messed up. And I support you, sir, with all I have. And then, by the way, you guys want to change the name of Sublet. How about changing it to Sandra Lee? Why not changing some of those school board members, African Americans, that you guys did not recognize? I tell you what, this is new to the game. Figure it out. Get back there, talk to whoever you need to, but you guys need to stop all this crap. Everybody see you guys better change. That's all I gotta say.
I have no more comments.
Speak. Going once, going twice. All right. Move on to our reports and announcements. And we're going to start with updates from the Kennedale City Council. I can't remember who I started with last time. We'll start with Councilman Navarez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a busy month last month, so I just want to highlight two things. I just got back from TML Houston, a 3-day event of meeting other people like ourselves and just industry leaders and coming together and solving problems. Just a couple of highlights. One of my favorite classes that I took was a roundtable with other small communities like ourselves. And that taught me that we have the same issues as other communities and the same struggles that everybody's going through Texas right now, which is mostly growing pains. Also, how famous Kennedale is. Within 5 minutes of Daryl and I walking into the expo area, we were bombarded by so many different companies who, frankly, had just great things to say of our senior staff over here. I had from Jonathan to, to almost everybody on our staff, we got mentioned on how well they work with these companies and how they know these people. And it made me realize that we're very lucky to have our senior staff. These are industry, not only experts in their field, but industry leaders in this field in Texas, and they're here in Kennedale. And I just wanted to recognize that's what really shocked me in TML. Second thing I want to speak about, I'm wearing a pink shirt today, and it says, in this family, we don't fight alone. And I just want to share our story, the Navarre story of breast cancer that we had to deal with this month, and this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Last January, my wife had to go back for a follow-up mammogram. She went in December, and there was some concern of some density, so they went back for a more thorough one. And the slow process of that to eventually finding out by March that she had stage 1A breast cancer. And so we quickly realized that once women around us went through it or are going through it. It's one of those things like it's a secret. So a few numbers to go out there. 1 of 8 women will get it in their lifetime. Age 40 to 50, you have a 13% chance of getting it, and it goes up exponentially. Early FIDA is early detection. So annual mammograms is the best and ultimate way to do this. And we were very lucky if my wife got this 20 years ago at age 40, she might not have detected it because they didn't really encourage it at age 40s. The other end of this, by just 3 weeks ago, my wife went back to work. She has no cancer, and she doesn't have to do chemo, and she doesn't have to do radiation. So I encourage everybody, all you women out there, to do annuals starting age 1, to do the annuals, because it is more rapid than I think the men.
Thank you, and certainly a lot of answered prayers for your wife, and continue to keep you.
That's great news, Jeff. Thank you. Great news. The only thing I really have from this past month is the National Night Out event. We had residents around town get some good input for the city moving forward, and that seemed to get more and more neighborhoods that are involved. So that was a great event for that evening, but that's about all I have. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Michaels.
September and October comes around, it's always a busy time with fall festivals and everything. But one of the shout outs I want to do is Keep Kennedale Beautiful did their butterfly party at the end of September. It's an amazing event. It's very educational. A lot of kids showed up. Every year, it just seems like it's getting bigger and bigger. An amazing national night out. I think we had 12 communities, and I think I tried my best to hit every one of them and only got to 7. So I don't know if I'm going to have to drive faster. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I got to spend Friday at the Pecan Manor Rehab and Retirement Home. They had a fall festival with some people that I haven't talked to since high school that their mom and dad sit in the nursing home. Attended the Lord Acre. Shout out to the fire department for their amazing open house. It seems like every year it just gets better and better. I'd like to thank the city of Mansfield for their firefighter challenge. I couldn't keep my grandson off of it. So that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Kovac.
So the big highlight for me has been the opportunity to once again be part of the Kennedale High School all-class reunion. That was this past Saturday. It is always amazing to see the people who graduated from Kennedale decades ago. But this year, I was really, really impressed by the fact that we had some new members who popped in from the teens. So it's always, I keep telling Laurie that I am tired of being the youngest one there. So it was really nice for that not to be the case.
Thank you. Councilman Glover.
Mr. Mayor, no updates for me this week. Thank you.
Brief. National Night Out was really awesome. It was great to see so many great citizens come together and just, awesome, absolutely awesome event. Got to see some old friends, got to meet some new ones. And again, we have our hats off to our police officer, and so we can live in a safe community. I think we have one of the best places to live in the Metroplex, if not the entire state, and it's because of you guys putting yourself on the line every day. And so our hats are off to you, and you guys remain in our pro. I don't know what district it is, I apologize, but the Kennedale Junior High boys are hosting their district cross-country meet at Sonora Park. A great opportunity for other people from outside to come see our great parks and see our great city. So I trust that'll be a great event. Thank you to our city manager and police department for helping to pull that off. And additionally, I just want to announce it's November the 10th, right? First United Methodist will be getting a designated landmark status. That's going to be on a Sunday afternoon. We'd love that in the life of our city. And the last thing I just wanted to add, had a call today with some folks at Precinct 2 and had a very positive discussion about infrastructure projects that the city has had on the books and wanting to get done for several years. I'll be updating the council more on that here shortly, but it just happened today, and I wanted to say that it was really good.
I want to ask our Public Works Director to come up with our sewer line that's coming in from the Texas Raceway, % completion on the design part. And if you'll come up and just give us a little bit better description of the North Road.
So just with a quick update on some of the infrastructure, we have several, one being that Interceptor project, which is that sewer project that's coming from the old racetrack all the way to I-20. And as you mentioned, it's 30% in design stage, so we still have another 60%, another 70% to go. But we are moving, we are on track. We anticipate to be in construction by January of 2026. So that's in the way, basically from what the OPCC is saying, we are looking at with another 30% design. So we are looking at now probably making some stride in cost versus what we get it out. Another project we had was the lead and copper rule, which the deadline is tomorrow, submitting that to the TCQ. So that's completed, but that's just the beginning. That's just the initial inventory. Starting, we need to start doing sampling and providing information to the public, and that's in the work. But there's a lot of work that has to be done with the lead and copper rule, but we're in stride with that. T4 storage tank, we have a contract on board. We have some kinks to work out, but we anticipate to get that on the road. So hopefully by, I would say, the spring of next year, we have a CDBG project for water lines from asbestos since to 8-inch, and that's in design right now. Also, it's going to go into construction in January, and that's going to happen right there on North Road. What's another project we have? Well, we have several projects that's budgeted for this fiscal year, one being the Hillside Addition bottleneck. So that's under the go. Right now, I'm working on the contract, so it's going to be advertised by the spring of next year. So in a nutshell, those are some of the upcoming infrastructure projects that we have.
Thank you, Christian. Also, just an update on our events that we have, because it's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So if anyone wants to come out and be a part of that for coming out to hand out candy to the kids, please get with our library and let's get you signed up. I'm sorry, not with the library, with the police department. They're heading that part up. So if you'd like to come out and be a part of that, please get a hold of us. We'd love for you to come out. We have a great crowd that's going to be involved in it, and it's on the 26th. Also, the next one after Trunk or Treat is our hometown Christmas. Make sure after Thanksgiving. We have a great schedule of events for that day. We'll have a fireworks show. It'll be shortly right after our Christmas tree lighting. So I strongly encourage you to come out. It's our 25th anniversary. We love to celebrate with you. And
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and do the financial reports, and then I'm sorry, I have skipped the oath of office for Chief Peterson. We'll come right back, agenda. And my handwriting was just so good, I thought it was.
All right, good evening. I'll go over two reports tonight. I have the financials for the month, and then I also have the end of the year investment statement. Probably the most important item to discuss with our monthly financials is that this is a draft version. We have not closed the fiscal year. We can't close it until we receive our last sales tax payment 45 days out from receiving that payment. We also, as you noticed on the details page, we have not received the water, sewer, or stormwater revenue from the city of Arlington. We will receive that tomorrow. However, with the data we have, I hate to sound like a broken record, but we had a budget and our expenditures are at 93%. So we've taken in more money than we expected and we spent less than we budgeted for. So overall in the general fund, that's extremely strong. Regarding the other funds, in the interest of time, I'll just pause and ask or wait for questions. Okay. With no questions, I'll move on to the investment statements that are realized income for the year. That's on page 4. Our realized income was $1.7 million, a lot of that being interest. And that's money that we've been able to capture investing our bond proceeds, and hopefully that will help cost rising, the inflation on our projects. So the 1.7 proud of. We did receive all of our bond proceeds, the $14 million by the end of September, $7 million to Frost, the other $7 million to Baird. Those are our two current advisors. With Frost, every 90 days, we have a batch of funds, a batch of T-bills that become available for us to withdraw the funds if we have a cash need. With Baird, it's staggered a little bit against any type of inflation on our investment statement or the plan itself. Okay, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So at this time now, we are going to issue our oath of office to Fire Chief Eric R. Peterson.
Just repeat after me. Raise your right hand, please. Raise your right hand. I, Eric Peterson,
I, Eric Peterson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Kennedale Fire Chief
of Kennedale Fire Chief
of the state of Texas
of the state of Texas
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United
and
States
ordinances of the city.
and the charter and the ordinances of this city.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.